I've been marketing for 7 years and I've made over $50 million in sales for some of the biggest brands and celebrities in the world. And I routinely have businesses pay me $10,000 to $50,000 per month to help them with their marketing. And in this video, I'm gonna share the 20 biggest marketing lessons I've learned in the past 7 years for free to help you master marketing and make more money even if you're a complete beginner. So spend 5 minutes to watch this video because I promise you, you'll get more value from this one video than a $100,000 marketing degree, because what I'm gonna share with you is what actually makes money in the real world, not theory or fluff. So with that being said, let's dive into these lessons. Marketing lesson number 1 is focus on the money. So your number 1 job as a marketer is to make money. It's not to get likes, it's not to get followers, it's not to get impressions, it is to make money for the business. That's what keeps the lights on. And to make more money as a marketer, there's only 2 ways you can do this. Way number 1 is you can get more new customers, and way number 2 is you can make your existing customers spend more money. That's it. And I'm gonna show you how to do both of those things in this video, so don't worry. But the key point I wanna get across right now is, as a marketer, if your time isn't spent on activities that either bring in more customers or make your existing customers worth more, you're not doing your job as a marketer. I see so many marketers who say they're marketing, but they're not actually marketing. They're spending their time creating a logo or a beautiful website or doing all these other little things that don't move the needle forward, and they wonder why their marketing isn't making money. And I'll give you a great story of this to really drive this point home. One of the greatest marketers of all time, Gary Halbert, this guy literally sold something to like 1/3 of America, which is insane. And there's a story where he's about to write a marketing campaign with another legendary marketer, John Carlton, and Gary's assistant walks into the office and tells Gary how his taxes are due tomorrow, his landlord is pissed off, and there's some angry customers, and she starts bringing up all these fires and emergencies. And Gary basically tells her to go away, locks the door, and then starts writing ads. And then John, all confused, looks at Gary and asks him, "Dude, like, what about all those emergencies she mentioned?" And Gary was like, "Don't worry about it. Our job's to bring in the money." And then he spent 6 hours writing ads and making phone calls to make money, because that's what keeps the business going. So always remember, your job as a marketer is to make more money. So make sure the first 4 hours of your day or your deep work sessions are spent on activities that either get more new customers or make your existing customers spend more money. These are activities like creating promotions, optimizing your funnels, and creating more content. These activities all bring in money. So you want to do as much of these revenue generation activities as possible and remove and limit the rest, because never forget, your job as a marketer is to make money. Marketing lesson number 2 is find the market desire. And this is the number 1 factor that determines the results of your marketing. It's not your copywriting skills, it's not having a good product or really nice branding. The biggest force that determines the results from your marketing is the market desire itself. And here's what I mean, and make sure to pay attention to this, because if you understand this lesson, you'll make a lot of money. So as marketers, we cannot create desire out of thin air for our products. We can only channel the existing desire that our market already has onto our products, and that's what gets people to buy. So let me give you an example of this. Let's say I'm selling a skincare product for women. Women already have the existing desire to be more beautiful and perceived as younger and more attractive to others. That desire already exists in the market. And if we can communicate in our marketing how our product can help them achieve those desires of being more beautiful and attractive, only then will they buy our skincare product. Because very few women wake up with the desire of buying a skincare product, but almost every woman wakes up with the desire of being more beautiful. So the desire comes from the market itself, not your product. And this is such an important lesson to understand, because the biggest mistake you can make in marketing is trying to create desire for something that nobody wants. That's like fighting an uphill battle. Instead, you have to know the market desire your customers already want, and then tap into that desire to sell your product. So as a marketer, know your customers' deepest desires, their dreams, their hopes, and know them better than anyone else, so that way you can communicate how buying your product will accomplish their desires that they already want. And the better you can get at this in your marketing, the better your marketing performs, because you're tapping into the biggest force that determines your marketing success, which is the market desire itself. Marketing lesson number 3 is create a unique mechanism. Every good marketing campaign communicates a unique mechanism. And what a unique mechanism is the way you communicate to your customers how your product gets them the result they desire most in a way that's unique and different from anything they've ever heard of or tried. And here's why this is so important. If your customers don't see how what you're selling them is unique or different from anything else they've seen or tried, you're always going to compete on price, and it's very difficult to sell. Now, on the flip side, if you have a unique mechanism that shows your customers a new way to get the outcome they desire most and also justifies why everything they've tried in the past has failed for them, it's very easy to get them to buy. And a great example of this is P90X. P90X was a workout program that helped people build muscle and get in shape, and it did over 700 million in sales. And their unique mechanism they communicated in their marketing was muscle confusion. So they explained that in order to build muscle and get in shape, you have to confuse your muscle in your workout so it's forced to adapt and grow. And that's what the P90X program does. And people bought into this concept of muscle confusion because it was new and something that they haven't heard of before. And it also justified why they struggled to get in shape and build muscle in the past, because they weren't confusing their muscles. And once they believed that muscle confusion was the key to build muscle, their only option is to buy the P90X. And that's how they were able to build a massive company in a very competitive fitness market. So you want to make sure you spend time to create a compelling, unique mechanism that you can communicate in your marketing. And a good, unique mechanism has 3 key components. So the first thing is it promises the outcome your customers want. So muscle confusion promised the outcome of building muscle and getting in shape, which is the outcome the market wanted. The second thing is it's unique and different. If it's not unique, you always compete on price. Muscle confusion was a new concept people haven't heard of before, so they paid a premium to learn how to do it. And the third thing is it's easy to understand, because if it's confusing, you'll lose your audience. Muscle confusion was very easy for anyone to grasp. Confuse a muscle and it's forced to adapt and grow. So if you can nail your unique mechanism in your marketing, you'll be able to cut through the noise and drive more sales and conversions. Marketing lesson number 4 is have a no-brainer guarantee. If you can create a guarantee in your marketing that eliminates all the risk for your customer and makes them feel stupid saying no, getting them to buy is so much easier. And the reason behind that is in any transaction, both parties have risk. There's risk for the buyer, which is your customer, and there's risk for the seller, which is you. And if the buyer has significantly more risk than the seller, getting them to buy is very difficult unless you have really good branding. Now, if you flip it where pretty much all of the risk is on the seller and there's no risk to the buyer, getting someone to buy is actually really easy. For example, when I first started my marketing agency, it was almost impossible to get a client to pay me up front because they would always tell me how they worked with an agency before, they paid them up front, and they didn't get any results, and the agency got paid either way. And I kept getting this objection over and over again. So then I thought, how could I create a guarantee where I could take all the risk away from the client and they would feel stupid saying no to me? So I created a guarantee where I offered clients a bare minimum 10x ROI on my fees, and they would pay nothing out of pocket to work with me. So I only got paid once I made the money, and once I made the money, they were guaranteed a 10x ROI. So this guarantee eliminated all the risk for my client, and if they said no to that, they would feel kind of stupid. And when I created this guarantee, I went from barely signing any clients to getting over 500 appointments a month and having more clients than I could handle, all because I had a very strong guarantee. So in your marketing, I highly recommend creating a money-back guarantee that eliminates most, if not all, of the risk for your customer. And you can either create an unconditional guarantee where there's no conditions attached for them to get their money back, or a conditional guarantee where there's criteria your customer must meet to qualify for your guarantee. And you know you have a good guarantee when you're nervous launching it. That's when you know it's compelling. Now you want to make sure you can still fulfill on it, but make it compelling. The more compelling it is, the more sales you'll get from it. And I promise you, if you do this, you'll make more sales by having a guarantee than if you didn't. And if you're somehow the only person I know who gets less sales by having a guarantee, you can always remove it. So there's literally no risk for you trying a guarantee in your marketing. So give it a shot and get more sales from it. All right, quick break and we'll get right back into these marketing lessons. But if you want to get 20 free marketing courses and trainings that I use to generate tens of millions of dollars in sales for my clients, go to marketersplaybook.io. That's marketersplaybook.io or the first pinned comment below. And all you have to do is put in your email address and I'll send you these 20 free courses all for free. So go to marketersplaybook.io, put in your email, and I'll send them your way. Apart from that, let's dive back into these lessons. Marketing lesson number 5 is build your traffic engine. So one of your primary jobs as a marketer is to get traffic. And traffic is simply getting people to see your offers and products. Without traffic, you can't make any sales because you don't have any attention. And there's 3 types of traffic, and I learned this from Russell Brunson, who's the founder of ClickFunnels, which is a 9-figure company. So the first type of traffic is paid traffic. This is where you're paying money to get traffic. Think running Facebook ads, YouTube ads, or paying affiliates, anything where you're paying money to get traffic. The second type of traffic is earned traffic. This is where you're working to get traffic. Think posting content on YouTube like I'm doing right now, or blogging, or SEO. This is all traffic that you're working for to earn. And the third type of traffic is owned traffic. This is traffic that you own and control, like your email list or your SMS list. And the goal of both paid traffic and earned traffic is to turn that traffic into owned traffic. And the reason behind that is owned traffic is the most valuable source of traffic in your company because you control it no matter what happens. Facebook ads, for example, it can shut down. Your ad account can get banned, but nobody can take your owned traffic list. Now to start, if you're under $1 million in revenue, you want to pick and master one traffic channel that's either a paid traffic source or an earned traffic source, and then you can start expanding into new traffic sources over time. For example, for my marketing agency, the traffic channel that I mastered to start that allowed me to scale past 6 figures a month was Facebook ads, which was a paid traffic source. And I chose Facebook ads because I knew I could easily target my ideal clients on there, and I saw lots of other agency owners having success running Facebook ads to get clients, so I knew there was a proven playbook to get results. And once I started getting results from Facebook ads, and I knew my inputs and outputs, like what it cost me to get a client and what it cost me to get an appointment, I expanded to YouTube as well to get more traffic. And once I know my inputs and outputs on YouTube, I'll add another traffic source so my engine gets bigger and bigger over time. So again, what I recommend is if you're under $1 million in revenue, pick and master one traffic source that you can easily target your ideal customers on and other people have had success on. And then once you've mastered that channel, expand to another traffic source over time, and you want to keep repeating that process. Now, always remember, the goal of both paid traffic and earned traffic is to turn that into owned traffic that you control. And if you follow this process, you'll have a constant stream of new traffic coming into your business. Marketing lesson number 6 is test messages fast to find what works. So the most important piece of any marketing campaign is the message of the campaign. So the words being communicated to your audience. And to find a winning message that strikes a nerve with your audience and pumps out new customers usually takes quite a bit of iteration and attempts. Like you're probably not going to find a winning marketing message on your first attempt. And one of the biggest things I learned as a marketer is your goal is to test marketing messages fast without being a perfectionist until you find a winning message that resonates with your audience and converts. Because the faster you test different marketing messages, the faster you can iterate to find that winning message. And once you find the winning message, you can scale really fast because you know what message gets your audience to buy. For example, when I first started running Facebook ads for my agency to get clients, I used to be a perfectionist. So I'd spend weeks trying to create the perfect ad, and when I launched that ad and it didn't work, I would feel really defeated, but more importantly, I would lose all this time because I was testing super slow. So I decided to change my approach, where instead of being a perfectionist, I would create simple ads that I could test really fast to see what message would resonate with my audience. And when I started doing this rapid testing approach, within a few weeks, I created an ad that was getting me leads and clients for significantly cheaper than anything I tested before. And that's when I knew I found a winning marketing message. And eventually, I scaled that ad to over 6 figures a month in like 90 days. So the mindset you want to have as a marketer is to test fast and not be a perfectionist. Because the faster you test, the faster you can find a winning message that converts. And once you find that winning message, you can really scale things up because you know what you need to say in your marketing campaigns to get people to buy from you. Marketing lesson number 7 is once you find what works, do more of it. This is probably the easiest way to make more money with your marketing. So once you find a marketing activity or a traffic source that's working well for you, just do more of it and increase your volume. A big mistake marketers make is we get shiny object syndrome. So the moment something starts working well for us, we get distracted and we try something else instead of doing more of what's already working for us, which is almost guaranteed to make us more money than doing something new. For example, in my agency, one of the first plays we run for clients to make the money is we look at what marketing activities are are already working for them, and we'll see if we can just do more of that activity first before we ever try something new. So if we're working with an e-commerce client and we notice email marketing is working well for them, but they're only sending 1 email a week, we'll increase that to 3 emails a week, and they'll immediately start making more money. Or if we notice Facebook ads are working well for a client, but they're barely testing new ads, we'll just start testing more ads to get more output from that channel. And I know this sounds so simple, but this is like never failed before because we're doing more of what's already working. We're not reinventing the wheel. So what you want to do as a marketer is if you find something that's working well for you, see if you can just do more of it and increase your volume first. So if you're sending 1 email a week, send 3 emails a week. If you're testing 5 Facebook ads a week, test 10 ads a week. You want to maximize your volume first until you find the volume sweet spot. And what the volume sweet spot is where you can do as much volume of that activity before you start getting diminishing returns. So focus on doing more of what works and increase your volume because it's the easiest way to make more money from your marketing. Marketing lesson number 8 is optimize your marketing funnel. One of the biggest lessons I learned that helped me become a better marketer is learning how to optimize a marketing funnel holistically. And here's what I mean. There's 3 big levers in any marketing funnel that determines the amount of money you make from your marketing. Lever number 1 is the amount of traffic you're getting from your marketing. Lever number 2 is your conversion rate. So how much of that traffic you're converting into customers. And then lever number 3 is your lifetime value. So how much a customer spends with you. And the better you get as a marketer at optimizing each one of these 3 levers in your funnel, the more money and throughput you get from your marketing. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're running Facebook ads and you get 100,000 visitors a month from your ads, and you have a 1% conversion rate on your website and $100 lifetime value. Based on that math, you would be making $100,000 a month. Now, if all we did was get a 10% increase in traffic by writing better ads so more people click on our ads, and we get a 10% increase in conversion rate by writing a better headline on our website, and we get a 10% increase in lifetime value by adding another upsell, that would lead to a 30% increase in revenue, which is an extra $30,000 a month or $360,000 per year, just by making those little optimizations throughout our funnel holistically. And in my experience, making these little optimizations throughout your funnel is a lot easier to do consistently than finding big swings that double your conversion rate or double your traffic. It's just that most people aren't willing to optimize their funnel like this because it's boring and it's tedious. But the real killers who are scaling their marketing campaigns, they optimize each part of their funnel because they know it leads to big results. So as a marketer, aim to continuously optimize your marketing funnel holistically to get the most output possible. So focus on making little optimizations to increase your traffic, your conversion rate, and your lifetime value. These are the 3 key levers that determine the total output that comes from your marketing efforts. And little optimizations you make in these areas compound into big results that allow you to scale to the next level. Marketing lesson number 9 is keep landing pages simple and congruent. So what I noticed after creating hundreds of different landing pages is the ones that converted the highest were extremely simple and congruent with the traffic source. And here's what I mean. Let's say you're a massage clinic and you're running ads for a $97 new patient special, and your goal is to send people to a landing page where you can collect their contact information and generate leads of people who are interested in the offer. The first thing we want to make sure we do is to keep the landing page as simple as possible for the action we want them to take. So if our goal is to collect leads, the landing page should just consist of a strong headline, an opt-in box to collect their contact information, and maybe some bullet points. That's it. The landing page shouldn't have an About Us section, a bunch of videos and images, and a bunch of other random shit, because that's just going to distract the visitor from taking the action we want them to take, which is giving us their contact information and becoming a lead. So the first thing is keep your landing pages as simple as possible for the action you want the visitor to take. Next, we want to make sure a landing page is congruent with the message they saw that got them on that landing page. So if what got them on that landing page was seeing an ad for a $97 new patient special, the first thing they need to see on that landing page is something like claim your $97 new patient special by entering your details below. That way, it's congruent with the ad they just saw, and they have a higher chance of converting instead of bouncing. A big mistake I see on landing pages is the landing page says something completely different from the traffic source or the marketing message that got them on that page beforehand. And if that happens, your conversions are going to tank. So whenever you create your landing pages, you want to make sure, number 1, it's as simple as possible for the action you want people to take, so no unnecessary information. And number 2, it's congruent with the traffic source and the marketing message they saw beforehand that got them on the landing page. And if you do that, you're going to maximize the amount of clicks that you turn into sales from your marketing efforts. Marketing lesson number 10 is compete on economics. So marketing is fundamentally a game of economics, meaning if you can make your customers worth more to your business than anyone else, you win because you can outspend your competition and build a monopoly. For example, the reason Starbucks is the biggest coffee chain in the world is because their customer lifetime value is close to $15,000. So they can outspend all other coffee shops and get all the customers. Or look at Apple. Their average customer lifetime value is over $8,000 and they have millions of customers, so they can outspend their competition. So as a marketer, to compete on economics, your goal is to make as much money as possible from each new customer you acquire. So here's a few ways you can do this. The first thing you can do is increase your pricing. This is the biggest lever you can pull to make more money per customer, and it's all profit. The second thing you can do is you can add upsells. So this is selling a similar version of a product your customers have already bought. So think going to McDonald's and going from a small Coke to a large Coke. The third thing you can do is you can add cross-sells. So this is selling a congruent product that goes along or enhances the quality of a product your customer bought. So think adding fries to your Coke at McDonald's. The fourth thing you can do is you can add downsells. So this is selling a cheaper version of a product to your customers who can't afford the main product you're selling. So this is going from a large Coke to a small Coke. And the final thing you can do is you can add continuity. So these are products that your customers subscribe to and continue to pay for every month, every quarter, or every year. Think of something like Amazon Prime. And if you can build a customer journey that includes all of these together to maximize the amount of products your customers buy from you and increase their lifetime value, the more effective your marketing becomes because you have better economics and you can spend more to acquire a customer and outspend your competition. Marketing lesson 11 is make your marketing easy to understand. A master marketer is one who can communicate clearly because a confused prospect does not buy. For example, have you ever been interested in buying a product online, but when you go visit the website, it's super confusing or it's hard to navigate? What ends up happening? You click off and you do something else, right? And your customers are no different. If your marketing isn't easy for them to understand and go through, you're going to lose your audience and your conversions are going to tank. So here's a few things you can do to make your marketing easier for people to understand. The first thing is keep your copy on your marketing under a 5th grade reading level. This will make sure most people can easily understand what's being communicated in your marketing without being confused. Because the average reading level in most countries is 7th to 8th grade, meaning a good chunk of people are actually below that. So what I recommend you do is use a free writing app like Hemingway Editor, and all you have to do is take your copy and then place it in the Hemingway Editor and edit it down until it's below a 5th grade reading level. The second thing I recommend you do is read your marketing campaigns out loud before publishing them. Because when you do this, you're going to stumble on all the areas that don't flow. And when you find these areas, you just edit them down and rewrite them until you can read it out loud without stumbling. Because in your marketing campaigns and copy, it needs to be the clearest writing you ever write, because you don't have the luxury of correcting your reader if they get stumbled or if they're confused. And the moment that happens, you're going to lose them and they're not going to convert. So make sure you read your campaigns. And the third thing is go through your marketing process like a customer. You want to make sure you routinely go through your marketing and your sales process exactly like a customer would. Because a lot of times when you do this, you'll find areas that are hard to understand or kind of confusing. And if it's confusing to you, I can guarantee you it's confusing to your customer. So when you find those areas, fix them and make it easier to understand. And by doing those things, your marketing is going to be a lot easier for people to understand and you'll drive more conversions. Marketing lesson number 12 is make it all about them. So marketing gets a lot easier when you realize the simple truth that people only care about themselves and what your products and services can do for them. That's it. That's human nature, and that's not going to change anytime soon. For example, when a restaurant has a grand opening and there's a line waiting to get in, the line's not there to see the inside of the restaurant. The line's there for the free ice cream that the restaurant promised as part of the grand opening, because that's what's in it for them and that's what they care about. So as a marketer, 99% of your marketing message needs to be all about your customer and what's in it for them. So to do this, communicate the main benefits your customers get using your product, communicate the problems your product solves for them, and communicate the status they gain from using your product. The better you get at this in your marketing, and the better you appeal to their selfish desires, the better your marketing works, because that's what they care about and that's what gets them to buy. Marketing lesson 13 is know your numbers. Improving marketing in most cases comes down to numbers and math, and it's a boring answer, but if you know your numbers, marketing is actually pretty easy because the numbers literally tell you what you need to do. If you don't know your numbers, marketing is very difficult because you're going in blind. And I'll give you a perfect example of this. One of our clients, a big account doing over $100,000 a day in sales, their sales dipped down by 30%. And 30% is a big drop in sales. Now, instead of panicking and freaking out, what we did is we looked at the numbers to see what variable was off. And when we looked at the numbers, what we noticed is that the conversion rate on the website suddenly dropped by 30%. So we knew the variable we need to look into was the website conversion rate. So when we analyzed the client's website, what we found out was that their PayPal checkout button on their checkout page wasn't working. So anyone who tried to pay using PayPal got rejected. And PayPal orders were roughly 30% of their sales. So all we had to do is fix their PayPal button, and just like that, sales were back up 30%. And the reason we were able to fix this problem so quickly was because we knew our numbers and we were tracking things. If we didn't know our numbers and we started panicking and just randomly changing things, we could have messed everything up, because the reality was everything was working fine. It was just one small thing on the website that needed to be fixed. So as a marketer, you need to know and track your numbers. So here's what I recommend you know. The first thing is know your key performance indicators, or your KPIs for short. And these are the key metrics you're aiming for in your marketing campaigns. So for example, if you're running ads, that's knowing your target cost per acquisition, your target conversion rate, and your target average order value. Then once you know your KPIs, you want to make sure you have accurate tracking systems set up to measure your marketing campaigns to see if you're on track or not to hit your KPIs. And you can do this by using tracking softwares like Hyros or using tracking codes and UTMs on your campaigns. And once you know your KPIs and you have accurate tracking set up, your job as a marketer is actually pretty easy, because all you have to do is look at the numbers, see what variables need to be fixed or scaled, and then you make your next move. Marketing lesson 14 is social proof and authority. So before someone buys your product, they must see proof other people have bought it first and had a good experience with it. Because if they don't see that, getting them to buy is very difficult, because as humans, we never want to be the first person to try something. That's too risky. For example, when you buy a product online, what's one of the first things you typically do? You see how many reviews the product has, because the more reviews the product has, the higher likelihood it's a good product. And then you read the reviews. And only once you've read those reviews and your brain's like, okay, this is safe to buy because other people have had a good experience with it, do you pull the trigger and buy the product. And your customers are no different. And really what I'm noticing right now is customers are more skeptical than ever because there's more options than ever. So you want to make sure in your marketing messages and on your website, people can immediately see social proof, because it's one of the first things they need to see before they feel comfortable buying your product. And you can do this by adding reviews and testimonials from happy customers, endorsements from influencers if you have any, and even press releases from credible sources. Because the more social proof your product has, the safer people feel buying it, which increases your overall conversions. Marketing lesson 15 is when in doubt, go to your customers. Your existing customers are your most valuable asset in your company, because as long as you haven't offended them, they'll continue to buy from you over and over again. And most marketers don't know this. They spend 99% of their time getting new customers, which is significantly harder than getting an existing customer to buy again. So whenever you need to bring in money fast, look to your existing customers first. For example, there's been multiple times in my agency that whenever I need to increase my cash flow fast, all I'll do is I'll throw out a new offer to my existing customers, and I can always get a percentage of them to buy again. And the beauty about this is, since they're my existing customers, it's pretty much all profit for me apart from the cost of delivery, because I've already paid to acquire them. So as a marketer, the key lesson here is understand that your existing customers are your most powerful asset and the lowest hanging fruit. And as long as you can keep them happy, they will continue to buy from you over and over again. So if you ever need money or cash flow fast, go to your customers first. If you can just give them a good offer, you can always get a percentage of them to buy again. Marketing lesson 16 is prepare before you create campaigns. So before you create any big marketing campaigns, you want to prepare yourself so you're in the right state of mind to do your best work. So just like how professional athletes do warm-ups before the game starts to get their body ready, marketers can do the same thing to get their mind ready. So here's what I recommend you do for 15 to 30 minutes before you create any big marketing campaign to get your mind warmed up to do your best work. So the first thing is review any successful marketing campaigns that you've created in the past. The second thing is review successful marketing campaigns from competitors that crushed it, and only do this if you have competitors that are making a lot more money than you. And the third thing is review successful marketing campaigns from unrelated industries that crushed it. And by spending some time to do this, your brain's now going to be primed and warmed up to create a killer campaign because you just fed it a bunch of successful inputs from campaigns that crushed it. And this is going to go a long way, especially during those days where your brain's kind of fried and it doesn't have the same juice. So give this a try when you're creating your next campaign, and I promise you, you'll probably produce better results from your campaigns as a result. Marketing lesson 17 is model what works. One of the most powerful things you can do as a marketer to create more successful campaigns is to model what's already working in your market instead of starting from scratch. This will massively increase your chances of success because you're starting from a foundation that's already proven to work. For example, if we're running ads for a client in our agency, one of the first things we'll do is we'll find their biggest competitors who are running ads, and we'll find their ads that have been running the longest, because if they're running for a long time, it means they're working. And once we find these winning ads, we'll model them and recreate them with our own unique twist for our client. And this increases our chances of them performing because we're modeling what's already working in the market. We're not guessing. This is so powerful. So as a marketer, what I recommend you do is always have a pulse of what's already working in your market for the marketing channels that drive most of your revenue. So if you get most of your sales running ads, have a pulse of the top performing ads from your competitors. If you're creating content, have a pulse of what content's going viral in your niche. And there's a bunch of free tools and paid tools that you can use to spy on your competitors to find out what's already working for them. And once you find these proven winners, model them and create them with your own unique twist, and you'll have a higher chance of success because you're modeling what's already working compared to starting from scratch. Marketing lesson 18 is more free stuff equals more money. So one thing I've seen over and over again marketing for brands is the more free stuff and lead magnets you give to your market, the more money you make in return. And there's a few reasons behind this. The first reason is if your free stuff is good, people will naturally want your paid stuff because they want more of it. That's why free samples at grocery stores work so well. The second reason is giving away free stuff triggers reciprocity in your marketing. And what reciprocity is if we get something of value from someone, we naturally feel the urge to give them something back. So if your prospects find the free stuff you give them valuable, guess what? They'll likely buy your stuff because they feel compelled to give you something back. And the third reason, this is a big one, is free content and lead magnets act as a multiplier to all of your existing marketing efforts. Meaning, if someone sees one of your paid ads, for example, before they buy, they might look you up and do some research first. And if they see you have a bunch of free content and lead magnets that they find valuable, that's going to warm them up and increase their chances of converting. And even though you can't track that, or you think that sale came from your ads, it was only made possible from the free content that warmed them up beforehand. So you can see how giving away free stuff to your market is one of the highest ROI activities you can do to make more sales. So I highly recommend, as part of your marketing strategy, consistently publish free content and lead magnets that help your market solve their biggest problems and accomplish their biggest desires. Because if your free stuff is good, people will naturally want your paid stuff, and it'll multiply all of the results from your existing marketing efforts. So it's worth doing. Marketing lesson 19 is leverage scarcity and urgency. And scarcity and urgency are two of the most powerful tools you can use as a marketer to boost your conversions. Now, scarcity is a function of units and urgency is a function of time. So let me break down each one of these, starting with scarcity. So scarcity increases sales because the more scarce or limited something is, the more people want it. For example, Ferrari only makes 7,000 to 10,000 cars each year, even though there's hundreds of thousands of people who want a Ferrari. And they do this because they know by limiting the quantity, this increases the perceived value of the car and the demand for the car because people know it's a scarce resource that lots of people want. That's why Ferraris are typically sold out a whole year in advance. Now, urgency, like I mentioned, is a function of time, and urgency increases sales because the less time someone has to do something, the faster they get it done. For example, the reason Amazon says order in the next 3 hours to get free shipping is to speed up the sales cycle and to get you to buy without delaying. So these psychological triggers of scarcity and urgency are hardwired into the human brain, so we need to leverage them to get people to buy. So here's how to do this. To leverage scarcity, always communicate the quantity of what you have available. Like you probably can't take on unlimited clients or you don't have unlimited stock. So communicate that in your marketing. If you can only take on 20 clients a month, say you only take on 20 clients a month. If you only have 1,000 units of product each month, say that there's only 1,000 in stock. This will increase the demand in what you're selling because people know it's a scarce and limited resource. Now for urgency, what you want to do is communicate time-based deadlines to speed up your sales cycle. And one of my favorite ways to do this is through something I call incentive cycling, where what you do is you create 2 to 3 special bonuses to your offer. And each week you make one of those bonuses available when they buy your offer. And this is going to increase your conversion rate because people don't want to miss out on that special bonus, so they act faster. Then next week, all you have to do is swap out to the next bonus. And the week after that, you swap to the next bonus. And you keep cycling these bonuses every single week, so you always have urgency baked into your offer to increase your conversions. So that's how you leverage both urgency and scarcity to get more people to buy. Marketing lesson number 20 is have a gun to the head mindset. And what having a gun to the head mindset is you want to treat every marketing campaign you create like its success is life or death. Like if the campaign you make doesn't work, you get a bullet right through your skull. And I know that sounds extreme, but here's why this is so powerful. When you adopt this mindset, you produce your best stuff because you don't fuck around. You take things seriously. Like you make sure you spend time to research and know everything about your customer. You make sure you know everything about the product you're selling and what makes it unique. You make sure you communicate all of your selling points clearly and you handle every objection your customer has. And you make sure you create an offer that's so compelling that people feel stupid saying no to it. Like that's what you do if your life was on the line and you had to make your marketing campaign work. And doing those things is what's required to produce a winning marketing campaign. A huge problem I made early on as a marketer is I would half-ass my marketing campaigns and forget to spend time on the fundamentals, and ultimately I was just deceiving myself of the work required to produce a winning marketing campaign. Because creating a campaign that pumps out customers at scale isn't easy. Like you can't just half-ass it and expect to create something that converts. It wasn't until I changed my mindset and treated every campaign I launched like its success was life or death that I started creating campaigns that produce results because I was taking it seriously and doing the work required for success. So here's what I really want you to take away from this. Whenever you create a marketing campaign, have a gun to the head mindset. Treat your campaigns like its success is life or death. Because once you do that, you're going to do all the fundamentals properly and you'll put your best foot forward to make the campaign succeed. And it's worth doing this because one winning campaign can be worth millions of dollars to your business. So take it seriously. All right, so those are the 20 biggest marketing lessons I've learned over the past 7 years to make more money. Now, if you enjoyed this and you want to get 20 plus free marketing courses and trainings that I've used to generate tens of millions of dollars in sales for my clients, go to marketersplaybook.io. That's marketersplaybook.io, or go to the pinned comment below. And all you have to do is put in your email address and I'll send you over those 20 free marketing courses all for free. Again, that's marketersplaybook.io. Apart from that, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.